The bottom of the canyon, way down there, where the river is about 1,800 meters. I'm on this kind of mini plateau at 3,300, but the mountains over there are over 5,000 meters. So yeah, this canyon is deeper than the Grand Canyon. Today it's time to leave Chile, and as you might have seen in episode 6, it's only a very short 20 kilometers or so drive from Arequipa, where I was staying, to the border with Peru. And as is usual, I've got to park up and then take my documents to wherever the office might be. Alright, I'm at the border. You can see the Peruvian flag behind me. I'm really confused though. It seems like everything is on the Peruvian side, where instead of having some things in the Chile side and some on the Peru. And I think my Spanish is letting me down with the sides, but we'll be alright, we'll be alright. That's the border behind me. I finally crossed it. There were a few hurdles to cross, including having to get a document from the third station before I'd even done the first and second, but it's boring. It wasn't that bad, it was fine. Finally had to get some insurance from here, and I've met Cesar, another motorcyclist, who's going to take me to a mechanic just to get my bike double checked for sure. But what's more important than a mechanic? Food. And I was very excited to have my first ceviche. And in Tacna that evening, I found a parade in the city square. I wasn't entirely clear about what they were celebrating. It seemed to be the birthday of someone who ran a school, and it meant that these were all school children, some enthusiastically, some less so, performing various dances for the occasion. So, still worried about my bike. Unless someone properly looks at it, it's going to carry on my worries. So, I'm in Tacna still. Richard, the mechanic, is not there yet, so I'm going to go for some lunch. My ceviche, but it's very different to how I've had it before. It's in this pot, it's like a soup with the raw fish put in there, so it's cooking whilst it's being served. Very different to how I've had it before. It's good. I got it really wrong. That soup thing was just the starter. The dish I have now been presented with, the actual ceviche, is absolutely beautiful and spectacular. Wow, and this is really cheap as well. It turned out that the owner of the restaurant, David, was at the table on the opposite side of the restaurant, and he invited me over to have a drink with him and his friend.
Se llama Cevichería de Davis. Salud. Salud, salud.
Salud. And then it was time to go back to Richard the mechanic, who had checked my chain, the wheel alignment, and then a bit of a climb out of Tacna but it was only a short drive to the town of Moquegua. Having left Chile, I was really excited to spend plenty of time in Peru, where I'd been before but had only been to 3 places. I spent just a night in Tacna before driving northwest towards Moquegua, then to Arequipa, before I really got into the mountains and the Colca Canyon. It was a lovely little town with a beautiful square, as is common in Peru it seems, just nestled in the mountains, and I really enjoyed going around the market just to see what was going on. It's a quiet town, no tourists around whatsoever, so it was just nice to start exploring and experiencing Peru. Then after Moquegua, towards Arequipa, but on the way I met some motorcyclists. They were stopped on the side of the road and just waving me down, and when I stopped they invited me for lunch beside the river. There were 2 Peruvians, a US and Peruvian couple, and another US guy driving solo. After that, the drive was really quite a lot of desert with not much going on. And after all of that, I was actually really pleased to be back in a city. I love cities. I love all the things that are going on, all the people. And I was couch surfing with Beto, who had a lovely flat near the edge of Arequipa. I'm now in Arequipa. This is my couchsurfing host's place. It's lovely. Great dinner with him last night, and you have to see the view. With that volcano behind, incredible. And Beto's neighbours, a car mechanic, very kindly let me store my bike there for the 2 nights I stayed. And then, well, it's time for more food, isn't it? And then into Arequipa to explore. As I said in a previous episode, I came to Peru 5 years ago. So although I'd visited before, I was really happy to be back. It's a beautiful city, with beautiful old colonial buildings, not just surrounding the plaza, but stretching far, far beyond that, and with great views to the volcanoes nearby.
Hello.
Aaron here has just been helping me open the doors. Move the car too. Muchas gracias. Bike's been here for a couple of days. Halfway in between Arequipa and Colca Canyon at the moment, and we've got a bit of fun. There's a queue of lorries, like, oh, I don't know, 5 kilometers long, and it carries on. So it seems the only way past at the moment is to go off-road a little bit, and you can see behind me there's some cars trying to cross this ditch. It was easy on the bike. I'm not sure what the rest of it is going to be like. It's pretty sandy, it looks like, but give it a go. It looks like some of these trucks have been waiting for some time, so I prefer the shortcut.
these kind of things would be really easy on some motorbikes, a smaller, lighter one, which lots of motorcyclists who are driving these kind of trips would recommend. I do not have that kind of motorbike. I've got a medium-sized touring adventure bike, which is great for carrying lots of baggage and for carrying me, but not so great when I've got to go off-road. Fortunately, in this case, yes, there was some sand, but it wasn't too bad to get through. I was really pleased that I did take that shortcut because, as you can see on this slightly sped up video, you can see that the queue of lorries on both sides was really quite ridiculous. And soon I was back on the road from Arequipa on towards Colca Canyon.
It's cold, it's getting late, but I'm in one of the most amazing places I've ever seen. This is Colca Canyon. I think we can just see the bottom of it. It's deeper than the Grand Canyon. I don't really like heights. And the point I'm at right now is, I can't remember the name, Mirante del Condor, I think. My pronunciation is hilarious. You should be able to see condors from here. Just as I was approaching on the bike, I saw two massive birds of prey. So, I guess that's them. Apparently the best time to see them is in the morning between 8 and 9. So, in a couple of days, when I'm driving back this way, which is what I have to do, I'll come early and stop here and have a look. Alright, it's called Cruz del Condor, almost got it right. I'm in Cabernacondi, I think that's how you pronounce it, and that's my hotel. And my bike is parked in another great place, and I'm really tired. Not sure how much there is to see around town. I think it's all about the canyon. That's fine. So I'll get my stuff out of the bike quick and then have a little wander around. It's another lovely day. I can't remember the last time it rained. It must have been 3 weeks ago. I've been lucky. And I'm on a little walk just on to the edge of this little village for a view over Colca Canyon. I'm expecting it to be pretty spectacular. Beautifully, carefully planted crops, all in their lines. Doesn't give you a clue really that there's a massive drop just beyond them. There are many reasons why I'm not gonna walk this hike, and there's a couple of them there.
Yes, those reasons are, number one, I'm already at an altitude of 3,300-ish meters and I'm feeling the altitude a little bit. The other is that it's a really long walk down, 2.5 hours there, which means an even longer walk back up.
It almost doesn't look real. The bottom of the canyon, way down there, where the river is about 1,800 meters. I'm on this kind of mini plateau at 3,300, but the mountains over there are over 5,000 meters. So yeah, this canyon is deeper than the Grand Canyon. So yeah, altitude sickness kicks in at about 2,500 meters for some people. Not everyone. I had to Google this. And it's 3,300 meters. It is too much for me. Got a bit of a headache, and even just mild mild incline on a walk, I'm out of breath. There's no way I'm gonna do that walk, which is don't know how to pronounce that. Is right down in the canyon bottom. No, sorry, I'll have to make do with the viewpoints.
This man was really keen to get his horse over to that field with lots of juicy grass in it, and you can see the horse was not quite so keen. The man wanted me to help out, but I was really pretty useless. We both failed.
I've had the most lovely day. Oh. That music is from a funeral. I'm really near the cemetery. I'll go. Bit weird filming near a funeral, isn't it? But I'll go in there in a minute. But I've had the most lovely day. The walks around here are just stunning and beautiful, and now the sun's going down, and it's just spectacular. So I knew that some rain was coming, and I knew that I was at about 4,700 meters. What normally happens when you're really high and there's rain? It's not rain, it's snow. Didn't expect that at all. That was exciting.